too.
Greetings, humanity. This time we're less than an hour late, which is always good. Unfortunately, we had a couple of folks who could not make it, so sadly these things happen. But let us, in fact, get this whole thing going, shall we? Let's.
And we feel sorry for them.
Welcome!
For having missed it? Yes.
Yes, we feel terribly
So
sorry
sad.
for them. Greetings, folks. Once again, I am Jim, and I am. This is the last of the 3 one-shots of Inspectors that I'm doing for this channel this month. And it's been an utter delight thus far, and I can't wait to see what happens this time. With me, I have a couple of folks who have bravely volunteered to attempt this game. I'm going to start with Joel. Joel, tell us about yourself and who you're playing.
My name is Joel Kensel. I am an incredibly awesome guy, but I am humble about it to the very core of my being. I will be playing Randall Rusty Meadows, a 20-year-old dashing pilot in training who will do anything for the money to keep in the air.
Excellent. And John, same question. Tell us about yourself and who you're playing.
Anything within reason. And
Anything within reason, that's always good. Go ahead, John.
He is a former city planner for the Orlando area. And he is a little uptight, a little nerdy, but generally well-meaning, former political bureaucrat kind of person. Smart, but tends to trip over his own feet. Let's just put it that way. So.
All right. Excellent. Now, in this game, Joel and John are going to be playing these agents who are paranormal investigators. They have started an Inspectors franchise in a city remarkably similar to Orlando. And it is... It will perhaps have certain similarities. We'll see exactly how similar it is as we go. This is in a world where the supernatural is fairly common, or at least common enough that there's an Inspectors franchise in every major city. And some people still don't believe it's real, but it's really more of an annoyance than anything else these days. We did have a couple of other players who wanted to join us, but sadly they had it was not to be. So we are soldiering on.
Eaten by wolves.
Possibly eaten by wolves.
By wolves.
Possibly, or perhaps metaphorical schedule wolves. I'm not entirely sure, but we shall go ahead.
You could hear the screaming for miles.
So let us see. You're going to be in the city of Orlando. You're going to be a franchise that is just getting started, and I find that generally it is funnier if you the less resources that you have, but it just really depends on how you kind of want to set it up. So let us go ahead and get that started as soon as I can find the control to actually stop this particular music and start other music, because let us not keep doing this over and over again. There we go. My goodness, so many things. All right. Professionalism. Okay, so what? So this is going to be a 10-die franchise.
Who brought the professionalism?
I have no idea. They're out there somewhere.
What is this professionalism you speak of?
As soon as I catch them, they will know. So let us see. You have this franchise that you have put together, and I'm going to turn the volume on that down because that's a little loud. So you have 10 dice that you can distribute amongst 4 different resources that are going to be able to help you as you play. And I'm going to switch to the franchise screen so that folks can get a better view of what it is we've got going on here. And if you'll take a look in Roll20, you will notice that there are a number of tokens seated to the right of your franchise cards that you have the ability to maneuver as you see fit. You should be able to grab those and move them around. So you have three different kinds of cards actually. The credit card helps with your tech rolls, your technology rolls. The library card helps with your academics rolls, and the gym card helps with your athletics rolls. And you can distribute any of those. And once you use a die, you basically declare you're using a die if you have a roll coming up. And once you use one, it's gone. The fourth resource is the bank, which is represented by that deposit slip that you can see there. That's anything that you don't want to put anywhere else. You can use it for any type of roll, even contact rolls. But when you use a bank die, then we actually use whatever the value is on that bank die to tell additional things that happen with just respect to your company's finances. And specifically, that's what the bank dice represent. So you can feel free to distribute those as you see fit. Grab hold of them and throw them onto those cards.
So once moved, once set, always set, right?
Yeah, basically once you put it, let's say for example, if you decide out of your 10 dice, well, once we're done here with the franchise building, once you've distributed your 10 dice, then after that, then they're set. And then as you use them, they disappear. Gotcha.
Any opportunity to get them back?
Not really. You can, if you do really well on stress rolls, get cool dice, which can be used to sort of help you out. But those are separate things. And as you earn mission tokens, which is something that the game manual refers to as mission dice, those are things that are just for the goal of this particular adventure, and do not apply toward, cannot be applied toward any rolls you do.
Gotcha. So, and are we in character here, or should I be saying, should we put?
I would think this is a little bit of a meta.
Yeah, this is a meta thing. You can do this out of character, but you can make these decisions based on kind of how you think your characters would want them. That's also a possibility.
Well, I'm trying to think of the areas that our characters are weak. Mm-hmm. Like, for instance, my character his athletics is low.
All right.
So,
I'm generally 2s. I've got the 1-3 for tech.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
So I'm kind of thinking, oh my gosh, this looks bad. Just having one somewhere for everything in case we need it. That's why I moved these 2 over up for the library card and the credit card.
Right.
Okay.
I'm 3 in contacts and academics, but 1 in athletics and 2 in technology. So you've covered my technology.
Okay.
So we probably need to cover our athletics with the gym membership thing, right? With at least a couple or 3 there, right? And we have to put 3. We could put 3 in each, and then put a 4th one in what we considered our weakness, right?
You could totally do that. I mean, you could put some in the bank if you want.
I'm kind of leaning toward putting 2 in the bank so we can experiment with the bank rules.
That's true. So go ahead and do that. And then we want to put 3 in the bank. That seems like a decent distribution.
Credit card, that's the only place we really have resources, or does that turn into
That adds to tech rolls. Anything on the credit card just adds to tech.
Yeah, put that last one wherever you want it, John. I'm flexible.
Which one is it? Tech roll that when we're establishing like our headquarters and the like.
For your equipment, it is, but I mean you can use those. You can use those dice on equipment rolls if you want. But yeah, I mean what you put will be kind of representational, somewhat of your resources in character. But with your franchise, but at the same time, it's not a major thing as those things goes. But yeah, I mean, you can. I may sometimes ask you to make an equipment roll, which is a technology roll, and you can use. I'll let you go ahead and use credit card dice for that if you want. But remember that equipment rolls do not contribute to your overall mission. They just, as far as mission tokens go, you don't get.
And the bank is for. What do we use the bank for? For
anything. You can add those dice to anything, including contact rolls. But the way we're representing it in Roll20 is, I'm just going to use, if at any point you use a bank die, I'm going to look at the first. However many, say you use 2 bank dice, I'm going to look at the first 2 dice that come out in your rolls, and those will be what your bank die results are, and then we go to the bank chart to figure out what those mean individually. And that's a layer on top of any success or failure you have.
What do you think, Joel?
I think that looks great for a first session where none of us know what's actually going on.
That's I like I said, I watched a couple of the other episodes, and I did not pay attention to how these were distributed by them. So yeah, let's go for this.
See, I'm totally untainted by knowledge on this, so let's go.
Knowledge? Who needs that?
Ignorance is bliss.
Now you should be able to grab hold of those tokens and move them around, can you?
Yeah, we did.
We did.
Let me go ahead then. It's not showing up on my other screen.
Really,
here.
It's not. That's odd.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see them now. That is interesting. Okay, let me. Did
you take a picture?
Let me check.
There we go. There it went.
Yeah, I can see it now. And okay, there we go. It did go. So that is yet another wondrous, strange thing happening with OBS. For some reason, it didn't move until like just now. That is weird. Because it didn't update on my desktop. Maybe I just needed to hit that window and see what was going on.
Yes.
So
weird.
It is an odd thing, but we do these things as we must. All right. So the fun thing here also is that since there are only 2 players, folks will be able to watch as we use these dice, because that's also on your. Over to your right on the screen that's streaming right now, so that will be that shall be helpful. Okay, let us get this thing going. All right, enough of that. So let's see. We are starting up. We need to figure out what kind of franchise this is, where it is located. Are you in an office building? Are you in a strip mall? Are you above someone's travel agency? Are you out of an apartment? How does this work? What is your franchise like?
I love a bowling alley. Above a bowling alley and below another bowling alley. No, that's a Simpson joke. Okay.
The meaty filling of a bowling alley sandwich. That doesn't sound right.
Let's see.
So you're in between 2 bowling alleys. As far as just on a middle floor where there is a third bowl. There was supposed to be another bowling alley, but they just don't use it anymore, and so you're just renting that out.
I think an abandoned bowling alley might be an interesting.
That'd be cool.
An interesting place to
I'm good
have
with
it.
that.
So okay, an abandoned bowling alley.
Cool.
Or it's not abandoned. It's our headquarters.
It's not abandoned yet. It was temporarily abandoned,
and somehow we're going to trap our ghosts in the mechanisms.
Yes. Excellent.
But I'll keep at least one lane rolling. I got
Yeah, you
enough
got
tech
one
to
that-
keep one
yeah.
better working.
Got one
Right.
that still works in case you actually want to like bowl or something.
Well, what
Cannibalize the others for parts.
Works for me. What?
and we're going to store the ghosts in balls or something. I don't know.
You could do that. You could do that. Now, granted, there are things other than ghosts about, but that's always a good place to store any manner of things. Yeah, last week there was a chupacabra, so it's all manner of supernatural things are available at this point. Ghosts and vampires and
and Florida has
werewolves
what is it, the skunk man or something like that?
Yeah, the skunk ape.
Sasquatch. Skunk ape. That's it. Yeah.
That's it. There's also a lot of talk about that. Plenty of alligator-based things to do if you want those.
Snake things, gator things, voodoo things,
all kinds
trailer
of
park
things.
things,
All kinds
sand
of things.
things.
What is your
thing.
okay? What is your franchise? It's called Inspectors. Obviously, it's part of a chain. What is your? Do you have a name for the bowling alley?
Well, who owns this franchise anyway?
This is it's actually run out of California. But
it's not typically employee owned, right? So we're not the owners.
No, you're not the owner of the overall. But I mean, you. Sorry, go ahead.
We're the franchisees, right?
Yeah, I mean, so you've got the license to use the name and everything. So you guys run this local franchise.
Okay. Something with supernatural in it, right?
The supernatural bowling alley.
Well, something pins or
nice.
Or something strikes or let's see.
The Last Lanes.
Ooh.
The Last Lanes.
It's not bad.
Works for me.
Or I don't see me having put money into this thing, so I assume we've got some backers.
It's entirely possible. Yeah.
We're down here in the land of retirees, and they have nothing better to do with their money.
That's true. That's fair. So.
or we may just know some old people who are really tired.
Is this a bowling alley that used to be part of like a retirement complex? It's just still on the side of it, but they don't use it anymore. And it's fallen into, so it'd be like some sort of Shady Acres type thing, or.
I like it. Let's see.
Yeah.
Golden.
I figured the nursing home basically invested in a franchise so they could get free service to clear their rooms.
Excellent.
There you go.
Like Golden
there
Years Bowling Alley or something like that.
End of the lane bowling alley.
Oh, I like
perfect.
That.
Okay.
All right, end of the lane bowling alley. And it's the end.
It's at the far end of a small street, and there you go.
And is it attached to what is it? The end of the lane retirement home.
Oh,
it's attached to like Shady Acres or.
Yeah, that's like I think they're probably 100. We can go with Shady Acres. I have no idea if there's one for real, but
if they were at one point a bowling centric kind of, if that was their draw, it could be the Slow Rollers home for retirement.
It's like some retirement homes have golf courses. This one had a bowling alley. Yeah, works.
Awesome. So Slow Rollers, which is good because maybe some of them also have gambling problems.
Right. Well, it could be.
I'm sure there's at least a couple residents who don't realize the lanes have actually closed, and they just still come over and ball.
Right. They just sort of wander in, and yeah.
Nice.
And
Nice.
that's, yeah.
Very
Like,
cool.
hi, Mrs. Bardavidian, how's it going?
Excellent. This is good.
No, that lane doesn't work, honey. Use this lane.
Excellent. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start with a couple of confessionals. Let me explain a little bit to folks who may be looking at this for the first time how this works. Confessionals are a way to basically bend reality. You can, at any point, each agent can, once per scene, call for a confessional and use that to change what's going on or aspects of the background or things that are going to happen. In the one example is that I keep using is that I once heard a game played where they were facing down demons. All they had were super soakers, and someone called for a confessional and said, well, luckily, before we left, we filled all the super soakers with holy water. And they came back and they were able to fry the demons with them. So you can do things like that, sort of the Ocean's 11 type thing where you position a thing that you need now at an earlier point. You can predict things that are going to happen. You can take a confessional and just talk about something that hasn't happened yet, and that means it is destined to happen at some point during the game. Or you can use it to define things about another character or something else that's going on. Just essentially, it's like, fortunately, our other investigator was an expert in 17th century pianos, and so you can sort of go from there, and then that's true. So that is a thing you can do. We are going before one last thing actually before we go to. I want to open with a couple of confessionals, but before we do, we must decide if you want titles. Because right now I just have agent written on your badges, but you can actually have titles. A lot of times they favor things like CEO, CTO, or let's see, I think we had Undead Chicken Wrangler in one of our episodes. It can be pretty much anything you like. Specialist in something, or just, general thing if you want titles. Do you want titles?
I'm not opposed to a title. It would just be something, come up with something appropriately,
I think I'd go for Chief Pilot, just because it looks good when I have to get other jobs. Not because we ever fly for this thing. We don't have a plane, but...
Works for me, sir. Chief Pilot. Let me go ahead and update that in your badge description.
So I guess maybe a COO, a Chief Operating Officer, maybe?
Sure.
I get the impression you're the one who's really in the office doing things. You're a professional.
Yes.
Right.
I'm everything else.
Excellent.
And because we're currently a small franchise, I have to go out sometimes to assist. So, yeah, this works.
Excellent. All right. So we've got that. We're going to go ahead and start out then with a couple of just confessionals for you to. This is like if because it's a documentary crew has come in and are going to talk to you about a couple. Just want you to introduce yourselves. The rest of these will be from the perspective of what happens after the mission. So that's what all the other confessionals will be. But these are just sort of little introductory things where they're just doing their initial shoots before this mission happens, and you're basically just they wanted you to sort of sit down and just describe yourself, talk about yourself to the audience. So who wants to go first? All right, I'm going to capriciously then.
That's fine. I'll do it.
All right. Okay, so Rusty, you are on camera.
All right.
So tell us about yourself.
I've been doing a lot of things, and this is just something I'd never done before. And, the pay seemed good, and they weren't paying enough attention, and they don't have an exclusion in there for if I die or get torn up in a single pilot plane wreck. So I'm here for the medical, really. But getting rid of ghosts, it's a good thing. And free bowling. Hey.
And what drove your interest in the supernatural?
Free bowling, medical.
That's basically.
I mean, that's
those are the things.
Ghosts are no good. You don't. If they're not trouble, then we leave them alone. If they're trouble, we got to get rid of them. Kind of like raccoons. If they're out in the woods, big deal. Once they're in your trash can, they got to go.
Yes. Ghosts in the trash can. That's always dangerous.
So if you have ghost raccoons, we're all over it.
Awesome. All right, sir. And then the COO, it's your turn. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
So what Randy doesn't know is that the medical is really crap. We tried, and the president came in, and well, it's gone. So, but don't tell him until this is over, until we get some more money. But I'm Aiden Osborne. I'm the COO. Who would have thought that a bowling alley would be the home of the premier anti-dark forces investigation and elimination group in all of Orlando? And I'm eager for this challenge. It's people are all the time coming to us and saying, help us, please, help us with the skunk ape, help us with these giant, and then we're talking giant, we're talking like Egyptian-sized, alligators. And which is weird because Egyptian, that's a crocodile, but, these are alligators here. But at any rate, this is just a wonderful opportunity. Call us at the number below here, and we'll take them on.
All right. Well, thanks very much. That's very good to know. All right, folks. Well, that is that is what they come and they interview you about initially, and a few days later, someone is going to walk into your office. Actually, into your alley, as it were. Do you have like a thing where anyone can just walk in and out, or do you have the front door shut? Is there a doorbell? How does it work?
Depends on which door you come in.
Yeah, there's different doors. There's a bell for retirement home people coming over.
Right.
And then that door,
that door just sort of rings the bell when they open it coming in from the retirement. But if you're coming as a client, you've got to be buzzed in, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, as far as I know, half the time residents are staffing the front desk because it's usually not me.
That's it.
So
we pay a little old lady to sit behind the desk. And
so you
all the applesauce she wants, buddy.
She's probably just doing it because she's at the retirement home and she doesn't have much else to do right now. Strangely, so what'll happen is you folks are in the middle of, say, doing something else. Perhaps you're testing, perhaps you're bowling, or perhaps you're with the one functioning alley, or perhaps you're reading or working on something. But you're at one end of the alley where the functional lane is, and your receptionist, Mrs. Holden, comes in with her. She's got 2 canes that she's walking in with, and behind her is someone who is dressed kind of strangely. It's a guy dressed in basically what looks like a dolphin suit, but you can see his face, but the rest of him, he's got essentially these big sort of flippers that he's got his hands sticking out of, and a big fin on his back, and just sort of behind his head is what looks like a big foam head of a dolphin.
So this is kind of one of those guys who'd be out there with the sign, "Get your taxes here, get your taxes here. By the way, I'm a dolphin."
Maybe. It's kind of hard to say. It actually looks like it's not. It looks like a little more expensive dolphin suit than that.
So he's an enthusiast.
Possibly. It's hard to say.
Okay.
But she just sort of creeps up and she looks over. You've got, hey fellas, you've got this young boy came in and wanted to talk to you. Should I have him wait in the waiting room?
That'd be great, Mrs. Holden. Thanks.
She slowly starts turning around.
Thanks.
And he just is just sort of looking at you, and they're right there. That's right. No, you have to wait in the waiting room. That's how they want it. Come on, this way. We'll get you. We have cookies in the waiting room. Come on. And she takes him by the hand slowly and very carefully. And John is muted. So.
Oh, Mrs. Holden. Sorry, Mrs. Holden.
Yes, dear.
1 second. I look at the dolphin guy and go, "What's your shoe size?"
9.
Okay, Mrs. Holden. He needs the shoes. We're on the bowling alley. He must have the shoes.
Oh yes, right. That's right, dear. Okay, come on over here, honey. And she takes him by the hand again and leads him over toward where the shoe place is in a bowling alley. It's just sort of the big counter where behind which are the shoes, and just starts putting size.
So we're getting a minimum $5 out of this guy.
That's you beat me to it. We're getting a deposit on his shoes.
Well done. Excellent. So,
and they're perfect insulators against dark energy. So
she is busy doing that, getting the shoes on him, and then taking him to the waiting area. What are you fellas doing?
I'm trying to size him up to see how much money he has.
Ah, yes. You sort of look at him. It doesn't look like he has a huge amount, but maybe that dolphin costume might be like a uniform, so he probably works for somebody.
Okay, so
those things aren't cheap. I had to wear a shark outfit for one job I had. Ugh, those are hot.
Don't even get me started on how you fly with a shark outfit on. I just don't. Anyway. So.
You don't fly with a shark outfit. You fly with a fish outfit. Flying fish. There are no flying sharks.
I've seen Sharknado, and I know that was not fake.
I'm telling you, Sharknado is not how it really works.
It's a documentary, I'm telling you.
No. Now, in the Pacific, maybe. But you don't get Sharknados. What are those storms they have out there?
They have cyclones and
The
we have hurricanes.
tsunamis.
Tsunamis.
Not tsunamis. No. I'll think of it later.
We're sitting here. We're arguing.
This is very important.
We're arguing about this while he's putting his shoes on.
These are things you need to know.
And the other question is, do the Sharknadoes turn the other way in Australia?
Sharkfoons. Sharkfoons. That's what I'm thinking of. The typhoons in the Pacific. Sharkfoons.
Excellent.
Yes.
Sharkfoons. I'm writing that down because, just in case.
Yeah, those are a real thing.
Trademark.
Sharkfoons trademark. Okay, good. All right, excellent. So, having determined precisely what it is that you need to figure out for those purposes, how long are you going to make him wait?
Just long enough for him to put on his shoes and come back over.
Okay.
However, a couple minutes, I imagine. He's going to come over to us arguing about Sharkfoons versus Sharknadoes.
Excellent. Okay.
And the Coriolis effect, and
So he heads back over, bowling shoes on his feet, little, which have which is weird because the little sort of sock-like things have so little tail ends are sticking up out of the shoes, but he still fits, and so he walks over. And he's just like, so can we talk now? Is that okay?
Oh, sure.
Sure.
We're here to help.
Okay, good. And he pulls a flask out of a hidden pocket, and he's just sort of, you mind if I, and he drinks a little bit.
Drink minimum.
And he's like, shrugs, takes another sip. Yeah, so, you handle weird stuff, right?
I'll take the flask from him to drink too.
Yeah, okay. So you handle weird stuff,
I'm
right?
underage. I'm going to let it go. Yes, we do.
Okay. So this is... It's kind of hard.
What weird thing can we handle for you, good sir?
Well, this is going to be confidential, right? I'm not going to... This won't get back to anybody, will it?
Of course not.
Okay.
If we're required to reveal something by subpoena, well, then yeah, but...
Well, hopefully everything will be taken care of by then. There's something weird happening with my coworkers.
Are they also dressed as fish?
Yeah, most of them. I work at Seaworld.
Dolphins aren't fish, man.
That is true. That is very true. I am, in fact, a bottlenose dolphin. And we have a very...
Explains the flask.
Yeah, tell me about it. We have a...
Well done.
And we have a very, very proud heritage. Anyway, no, there's... So it's been happening the last couple of nights, and I'm not sure what to do about it, and I've tried talking to HR, and they kind of have said it's okay for me to come here, so I'm hoping that... But I don't know how far this goes, okay? But, all right, let me explain. We had a problem not too long ago. It was, well...
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Do you think that you're a dolphin?
In order for me to answer that, I need to know if you're talking about within the context of the park or outside of the context of the park.
Are you a dolphin now?
Are you a dolphin? Yes, in here in our bowling alley.
Oh well, in that case, I'm always the dolphin. But that isn't anything to do with what's going on. That's not a problem.
Okay. You were saying. Sorry.
Right, yeah. So no, it's just I noticed this the other day, the other night actually. This only happens at night, but so some of my coworkers have started acting kind of strange, and I mean really strange. They've started kind of gathering at night around the Manatee Rehabilitation Center, and they've been starting to do this kind of I don't know, it's like a song or a chant or something. I still can't quite make it out, but that I think it's upsetting the manatees because they haven't come out for the last 3 days, and it's I mean the vets are saying they're okay, but you usually see them, you know.
So you've not even seen the manatees for the last 3 days?
No, I haven't, and well, and also
they could have left the park for all you know, right?
Maybe, yeah. It's like they're trying to keep that area secure. For the indoor rehabilitation area, and but you usually can see them in the outdoor too. But I haven't, and there's also that it's like sort of sometimes when they're chanting, it's kind of like there's this little light coming up from the pool in front of them, but when I get too close, I don't see it. I don't know. But we don't have that kind of light down there. That's what I'm saying. It's in an area that's not supposed to be lit.
So this is not like chanting like SpongeBob SquarePants singing, right?
No.
This is something else.
Yeah.
I'm going to look straight at Ozzy and go, is this Cicero phosphorescence again?
Could be. Absolutely.
That's
overjoyed. Very serious.
I am overjoyed at the phrase Cicero phosphorescence.
Noise turning into glow.
Okay, but do you think you guys
can be a real word?
I have no doubt it is, but I need to write it down anyway. Do you think you guys think you can help out with this?
So it only happens at night.
Yeah.
And these people are like you, fish.
Well, most of them are manatees, but one of them is one of them's a killer whale, and then there are none of them are dolphins. I don't think no self-respecting dolphin would go near that. But that kind of thing.
Of course not. No.
But as I understand it, a killer whale is actually a dolphin. But
it is. But there is. We have kind of there's a complex hierarchy. Okay, not all dolphins are alike, but the bottlenoses don't. The bottlenose clan is not interested in any of that's going on. Okay.
In my mind, I just can't help but think no legs better. But anyway,
now Googling types of dolphins. Sorry, go ahead.
If this is only happening at night and you want us to check this out and the park is not open at night, how do you expect us to get in? Since you have some company sanction, can you lend us a key?
We can we can get you in. That's not a problem. This is, it's obviously we're not gonna. This is something we're kind of doing a little off the books, but yeah, we can totally get you into the park. That's not a problem.
Speaking of books, do you happen to have a work order or form of payment? And I will gesture to my good friend who takes care of these things.
Oh, well,
yes, we take. Well, okay, we take American Express. We don't take any of the others. It was a deal. The franchise, but just American Express. Sorry.
Well, do you have a you
and gold?
Do you guys have like a PayPal?
American Express is our pal. You could pay them.
Because I can.
Bitcoin is something that I like to say, but we take American Express.
I've been authorized to give you your first day consulting fee, but the rest we have to kind of see what happens, right? That's what it says on the national website for the inspectors, right? There's like the consult, and then
right.
We're good for the consult. So yeah, if you
while he's making arrangements with Ozzy, I'm gonna pull out my phone and see what it says on the national website. I don't know.
Yeah, there's apparently, there is this whole thing about free consultations being offered, but that's only a by franchise thing. So apparently he missed that. There is a consultation fee that can be charged for like going and checking out the location.
Right. Plus expenses.
Course. And then expenses come after. Yeah. So that's kind of how that goes. And then if it extends for multiple days, if there's an investigation that's ongoing for multiple days, then there are more fees associated with that.
Right.
That's the typical pay structure.
Right.
But of course, you do have some leeway running your own franchise, how you want to kind of set that up. But that's what everyone sees when they go to the national website.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to nod sagely in a way that suggests, yes, you have that exactly right, and not go, oh, this is free. I'll let that go.
Yeah.
So
apparently there's an app coming, by the way, but it's not ready yet. Sorry, go ahead.
So we're $250 up front, and then $250 a day plus expenses plus hazardous duty if it's called fees if it's called for.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I don't have an American Express card on me, but I think they can do that they can. Hang on, and he reaches in his through his pockets and he pulls out a phone. And he dials, and he turns around. And he's going to talk to them about getting the card number, basically, so that you can charge it.
And I call our receptionist over and ask her to get the card slips, and we've got one of the little ones with the imprint machine.
Yes. She goes very carefully. It takes her a little while. She goes and she gets one, and she comes back. Do you boys want any cookies? They're going stale.
That would be very nice.
Ooh, stale cookies. Yeah.
All right. All right, I won't throw them out then. They're on the counter up front. And
Thank you, dear.
She goes and she gets that for you. So you get all that sorted out. He says, so I'll see you. And, after he gives you the card number and does all the imprint and everything and fills out the card number on the form and everything, and you take the transference and give him a receipt. He then says, so we'll see you tonight then?
Well, before you go.
Yes.
I hand him a ball. probably a pretty good, like a 12-pound ball, and
bowling
okay,
ball.
yeah, bowling ball. Please roll to see the for your fortune. Predict the outcome of our adventure tonight.
Okay. He just sort of haltingly goes over to the alley, and he tries to roll, which is not easy to do in a dolphin costume. And it is.
Fortunately, he had the shoes on, so yeah.
He did have the shoes on, and he gets. It's 10 pins these days, isn't it?
It is.
He gets.
Yes.
He gets 6. He gets 6 or 7. Yeah, he knocks over 7 pins, but he is over the line.
Okay. Interesting.
Can I go?
What
now?
are you hiding from us?
What do you mean?
I mean, an okay form, but you clearly stepped over the line.
Okay. I'm going to call for a roll in just a moment. First,
Okay.
though, I need to set the number of mission tokens we're going to try to get. Let's see. He says gauging what time it is. Let's call this a 12-token mission to possibly be adjusted for time. And so that's going to be the goal that you're going to be going for is 12 tokens.
Tell me to get on with it if you need me to get on.
Oh, no
with
worries. No. I needed to figure out just based on the timing. So I need you to roll your contact skill for me. And so that's the number of dice you have in contact, and
I believe it's 3. Let's see. It is 3. So I roll 3. Skill roll. Yes.
Yes, skill roll.
3.
Okay, that is a 5. And we now consult the table. You can also find these tables. I've put them in Roll20 for you if you want to go in and take a look. But you got a 5, which is good. So the thing about inspectors is it is very player facing. So you, John, get to describe the result, and you gain a franchise die. So this actually gets you closer to your goal. So tell me what he tells you something that is some interesting fact that he might be hiding from you. What is it he tells you?
So he tells us that he's actually his girlfriend, and I put girlfriend in quotes, was a dolphin, but now is a manatee, and has gotten involved with this whole situation. And so that's his real goal here is trying to get his girlfriend back. His girlfriend's going out with the hunky, the alpha male manatee, but and he wants him back. He wants her back. And so that's his side reason for being involved here. So he probably, maybe let slip, maybe the ceremony is maybe he knows a little more about the ceremony because he's been creeping on his ex-girlfriend or his girlfriend. So he may know a little bit more about what's going on in the ceremony than he's let on. Maybe he was invited and turned it down because he stayed loyal to his dolphins.
All right. So yes, his girlfriend's name is Anita.
Okay.
And she is now a manatee. She joined the manatee clan, and so it's.
Did we get his name?
Yeah, his name is. Oh yes, his name's Eric. It's Eric Norris.
Eric. Yeah. All right, so I'll get the key from him.
All right. Yeah, he will. Let's see. I think that they'd probably have to actually have him on site to let you in, rather than actually to give you a key to just get into SeaWorld whenever. But so he does tell you, no, we'll let you in. We'll let you in. I'll be there at the gate when you want to come in. There's a combination I gotta do.
But what if you get killed between now and then? What if the manatees get you before then?
Then I'll. Well, yeah. I mean, you can get it from my supervisor.
So he's aware of this. You're coming to us, or she?
Yeah. Yeah. No. She knows that you're. She knows you're coming.
Okay.
Your supervisor's not a manatee too, is he?
No. She's not a. No, Cora's not a manatee. She's. No. No. The staff. The supervisor staff aren't any of those. No. She's a squid.
So is there a hierarchy here? I mean,
Kinda,
seems like,
yeah.
seems like a squid wouldn't be in charge of a mammal, right?
Well, it's real complicated. It's not exactly. They kind of look. Ever since we put in that Kraken roller coaster, it's been Squid City over there. Okay, that's you gotta have. You got to have at least 6 appendages to be able to get anywhere, to climb the ladder over there these days. So.
Okay, so we will be there. So what time do these ceremonies take place?
Usually it's a little before midnight.
The witching hour.
Yeah.
So we'd need to be in by 10.
Yeah, sure. No, that's when we're starting to close things down. So yeah, that totally we can get you in then. That's no problem.
And will we have access to the snack bar? Just need to know. These are...
Will it help the investigation?
I don't see how it could hurt. I mean,
I'll talk to Cora. I'm sure she'll let you. Yeah, sure. I don't think that'll be a problem.
okay.
You'd be surprised how often popcorn makes things go easier.
Hey, you guys are the professionals.
Yes, we are the professionals.
All right, great. Well,
We would do well to remember that we are the professionals.
absolutely. Well, thanks so much. I'll see you tonight then. And he starts backing out of the place.
I'm just going to stay here quietly and see if he leaves in the shoes, because that's a big upcharge if he does.
Right.
And you're watching, and it looks like he's about to leave with the shoes, and Mrs. Holden stops him. No, honey, you got to take those shoes off.
Dang it.
Before you go out. Oh, sorry. And he stops, and he takes the shoes off. You almost had him. Almost.
Need to talk to her about that.
So
Those were nice looking sneakers he was wearing.
Yeah. This is true. So, this is now the portion where we begin gearing up to go out to the mission. As you've got some time ahead of time. As we can see on your franchise, you've got a decent amount actually sort of in the bank, but you've got it's weighted a little more toward you're being able to compensate for athletic issues, and you've got an okay level of lore available and technology, and so that becomes the question then. What equipment do you want for this little jaunt Generally, I usually do one per, but since we only have 2 players, I'll let you each go twice.
So, above board in metagaming here, are we... this is obviously not a ghost thing. So the Ghostbusters route of having some sort of proton packs is not... That's not the path we're taking here. I take it, right?
Well, I mean, it's up to you if you want something that is similar to but legally distinct from a proton pack. We could look for that, but we don't really, we don't really know what it is yet that you're looking for. This is people acting suspicious and some sort of possibly supernatural effect happening as a result.
I think I'm going to lean toward making sure we've got your basic I got to go in the water gear. Face masks, snorkels.
Okay. That kind of stuff you can just have. That's not a problem.
Yeah.
We're talking the equipment to deal with the supernatural.
Typically. I mean, generally anything that's ordinary, I'm not really going to make you roll for. There are technology rolls that can be associated with picking things up, but I'm not really going to nitpick about that right now. But anything that's a little... basically, when you make your technology rolls for equipment, you don't get franchise dice as a result, but if you get you need a 5 at least to get something that's rare but available in the real world. So, like, if you want like a limousine or just something that's expensive or hard to get otherwise. If you want something that's either supernatural in nature or science fiction-y in nature, like a thing that is legally distinct from a proton pack or some sort of Necronomicon-esque grimoire that has magical properties, then you'd need a 6 for those rolls. And so that's kind of what we're looking at.
So do we want a bowling-themed mechanism that for capturing ghosts? Or supernatural entities? Or is this going to be totally separate? Something that you've got the high tech, so it might be something that you've come across, Rusty, that as a pilot, as a adventurer.
I'm kind of thinking we may want to have. We may have a pin trap of some sort. Just the pin set up as a trap for something.
We're going to carry around 10 pins
No, just the one. Kind of like a spirit vacuum bottle. You open it, it just sucks stuff up.
Oh.
And this is a bowling pin?
Yeah.
Delightful. All right, so you want a...
so we're going to chuck it at them and it...
So you want a thing that sucks up supernatural forces into a bowling pin?
Sure.
All right.
We should have one of those.
Okay.
At least one.
All right, Rusty, go ahead and make a technology roll.
All right, so I go to the skill roll button. I roll my technology. I hit the button. And I get... What did I get? Oh, I got a 5. Did I? I got a 6. Hooray!
So it is supernatural.
Alrighty, so let me just...
Right? A 3, a 5, and a 6? That's what I'm seeing, right?
Yep, you got a 6. Yep. So, you get, you have exactly what it is. So, is it like a mechanical thing? It's like it looks like a bowling pin and it opens up, or is it an enchanted bowling pin, or what is it?
I would say it looks like a bowling pin. You twist the top and spaces on the sides sort of pop out. Kind of, you know how the current rage of Android faces going that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You get little panels that go and then as you toss it, it goes shump and then closes back up as it draws things in.
Excellent. Okay. Very cool. So you have a spirit capturing or supernatural force capturing bowling pin. Excellent.
So do we have just one of these?
You just have you have the one. I'm going to assume you can use it multiple times. And John, what is a piece of equipment you would like to have?
Well, being a map person, I would like to have a map that shows me supernatural forces in the general area of where I'm at. So I open it up, and it gives me it shows me where I'm at and where something that, and it could be wrong, or, it could lead, it's all in how you read it. So I don't know how I'll figure this out, but
so is this a technological device or a mystical device?
I would have thought that it's mystical.
Okay. It's just like a map you unfold, and these marks appear on it to show you where they are.
Right. When I was with a city planner, I found this map sort of buried in some old archives of the city.
Okay.
And I was looking through one day and realized that it, every time I would flip it, and it would, I would be someplace else with it, and it would give me the map of the area I'm in, and not just the map of what it was when I opened it up the last time.
Excellent. Cool.
That's pretty cool.
So go ahead and make a tech roll, and we'll see what you end up with.
Ooh, tech is 2, I think.
Mm-hmm.
1 second.
Feel free to use one of those things off the credit card.
If you want, you can burn a credit token, but that's up to you.
Is this a good time to do this?
You will be making tech rolls for your mission later, so it depends.
I think I'll just hang on to it, and I'll just use my 2 dice, and at this, we'll see.
Okay.
How did I do?
You're gonna get something. We'll see what it is. So it's a skill roll. It's you make a skill roll using your technology skill.
So I got a 2.
You got a 2. Okay.
Bad. The DMs decide your fate.
Yep, and that's usually
something suitably negative.
Yeah, now that's usually with that's not necessarily for a technology roll, but
okay.
It is akin to it. Those are for mission rolls, mission skill
Oh,
rolls.
okay. My bad.
Or not, I'm sorry, I'm saying not for technology roll. Not for an equipment roll is more specifically what I should be saying here. So you have a map. It does do something mystical. You think it probably shows you where supernatural things are. It's never quite the same when you look at it a second time. The map is always a little different the next time you look at it. But
it's right. Yeah. It's right just enough of the time that he's convinced that it really works. But most of the time, it's totally off. Yeah.
Also, occasionally when you open it, you get this feeling of dread. You're not sure, and sometimes you feel tired. You're not sure why that is. But that's so. Yes, you have a totally not cursed map.
Okay.
And Joel, do you have any other piece of equipment you would like to pick up?
I'm kind of thinking that what might be just handy, maybe not a good idea, but handy, is some really heavy-duty instant Jell-O, but more in the vein of Ice 9. You dump it in the pool, and all the pool turns to Jell-O.
Oh, okay. So this is I'm trying to decide if that would be a 5 or a 6, because this is like an instantly transforms any liquid into Jell-O, right? Is that what you want?
Pretty much.
Mm-hmm. So, and do you want it so it's like you only dump
I know that there are products that exist that will do that in like an 8-ounce glass, but...
Yes, but you want to cover a wider area with a small amount, I take it.
Yes.
All right, so that's going to be a 6 So let's...
All right.
You're a Jello-fication powder.
Do you want to use a tech die for this?
No, because I kind of want to see what happens when this goes horribly wrong.
Excellent. You're going to get something. We'll just have to see what it is.
Oh,
5. Okay.
So close.
So it's you have what you actually have is a device that will launch Jello, powdered Jello into a body of water, but it will take a little while to set. It's not instant.
Okay.
So you could have do you have like a big sort of like a vacuum cleaner strapped to your back with it? You could do that if you want it, or it could be like you know, so like in a suitcase or something, and there's a hose that comes out of it, and the thing is full of this fast-acting Jello powder. But it
Can't be a bowling ball.
You could totally have it. It's branded.
You know, I think
you could have it in a bowling ball where you just launch the ball into the water, and the ball dissolves, and the stuff comes out of it.
You know, I think what I want is like a 2-wheel cart, you know, that you can lean over and pull with stuff.
Yeah.
And it'll be a large bowling pin shaped case. And that mechanism will be inside it along with some other tools.
Excellent.
That way we can always take the giant bowling pin with us.
That'll work. Do you want it do you want it to come out like out of a hose, or do you want it to come out as like a catapult where it sends packets?
Oh.
I also think it
kind of like the catapult thought, sort of like the shotguns that fire the beanbag pellets.
Yes.
You know, thump, 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 thump.
Excellent.
I also think it needs like the straps so that it's also a backpack.
You can lower the cannon down, the pin down so that the head of the pin is facing it, and then it like opens up and the stuff shoots out of it.
That's it.
Well, I mean, it's got straps on it, but
Yeah.
if Andre the Giant starts working for us, he could wear this bowling pin
And he
thing.
just sort of has to bend down, and then it'll come out.
Otherwise, it'd take 2 guys.
Yeah.
That's what we're looking. That's our next employee. We're looking for giant.
It's like he has to get down on one knee and then activate, like hit a switch, and then it'll activate and come up over his head. That's perfect. Okay, awesome. So that's your. So you have the the Jello launcher. And John, you may get one more piece of equipment if you so desire.
We need a vehicle.
If you want a special type of vehicle, we can go for that. You have a vehicle automatically, but if you want a special vehicle, then you can roll for that.
Oh, okay. I didn't think about that.
And I will be asking you about your vehicle soon.
Right. That's sort of why I wanted. I was thinking about a vehicle, and I half expected you to have a helicopter, Rusty. But
if you would like a helicopter, you could use that as your role.
But see, I would want to use his role because.
But you thought of it, so you must roll.
Yeah. I think a helicopter, one of these. It probably looks like one of the MASH helicopters from
cool.
the opening.
Yeah. No,
And
you're going to need a 5 for that. That's
no.
an existing thing.
So Army surplus.
Yeah. Okay. So do I? Yeah. I'm just gonna trust the luck of the dice.
Yes. Trust it.
Because no harm can come from an unreliable helicopter.
Hey, a
None.
5! Yay!
You got a 5. You have an Army surplus helicopter from that. Maybe it doesn't, unless you want it to. It doesn't have to date all the way back to the Korean War, but it's a fairly modern helicopter.
Right, but it has pontoons. We want to be able to land on
absolutely.
water.
So it's a helicopter with pontoons. Can you land now? Jim does not know enough about helicopters to be certain about how this works. Can you land helicopters with pontoons on anything that isn't water?
Generally, yes.
Okay. Because it's okay. So yeah, okay. That
unless
makes sense.
you're getting like really weak pontoons, they will also serve as basic levels.
Or I figure it's
you
either that
wouldn't
or
want to land
got...
on really rocky beaches with most of them because you might puncture.
Okay. So yeah, and I kind of assume that at the very least, even if you're not landing on the pontoons, that the feet might extend down a little bit and they just go into the water when you do that. So that makes sense either way. Okay, cool. So you've got a helicopter. All right. So there we are. And,
it's in the parking lot.
It's in the parking lot right next to where you have to right next to the bus, the little the transport bus that the rest home has.
Yeah.
that's on there. That's delightful. Okay. So you are ready to take off for your mission?
Well, I figure its parking space is probably between a couple of golf cart only spaces because anything else might be too tall for the rotor.
Nice. That'll work. That'll totally work. So you're about ready to take off for your mission, and what we're going to do is, well, is there anything else you want to do before you get going?
We would, I guess we would put the out. We'll be out back in 3 hours, kind of.
All right.
On and tell what was her name again?
Mrs. Holden.
Mrs. Holden to to get the names and contact numbers of anybody who shows up, and
Will do, hon.
whether they're fish or not. And if you're gonna smoke, go out back. You know the rules.
Yes, Mr. Osborne, I know.
Would you like anything from Seaworld, Mrs. Holden?
Oh, do they have shrimp there?
I'm sure they do, but
I'll check.
Be edible.
I could really do with some shrimp.
I'll see what we can do.
The early bird at Denny's is across the street.
Nice. Okay, so you head out. Well, actually, and she said, I
have to say that I've just never really thought shrimp. I'll go to Denny's.
She does say, well, do you have any of those? If they got any like a sort of like a stuffed shark or something like that, I could use one for my grandson. He loves those things.
Oh, not a problem.
Yeah, no worries.
Thank you.
So is he a big fan of shark foons?
Yeah, he watches all those movies. He really gets into it. It makes him happy.
They went downhill after Shark Foon 4.
Yeah.
The Wreck-It.
I don't know. It's what he likes. Kids, you know.
Yeah.
So,
I think the end of it's going to be Shark Foon 7, the Ninja Shark Foon series, because no one's going to see it.
Oh, wow. Ninja Shark. Ninja Shark. And as we all plot that in our heads, we're going to go ahead and we're going to take a break so that we can do refresh our drinks and do whatever else we need to do. We're going to break for about 5-10 minutes, and we will be right back. So see you folks shortly. Greetings! Once again, we are back. And we are heading toward the helicopter, I presume. Once again, we are back.
That plane, yes.
Well, we're going to get in some trouble for just flying into SeaWorld, but let's do it.
Okay.
We're on a mission. Maybe not from God, but it's still close
Some
enough.
kind of thing. So you are you get into the copter and rise up and start heading that way. And I'm going to ask you, presumably, Rusty, you're piloting.
Yep.
I need you to make
Yes, I am.
I need you to
Do we
make
have a banner? Do we have one of the banners that
You
flies?
totally
by?
have a banner. If you so
There's
desire.
Not the helicopter. No.
You can have it painted
We'll
on the
all
side
be
of the
in.
helicopter if you want.
That we can do.
Go ahead and I need you to make a 1-die stress roll.
What we can do is mount a laser light that's kind of right at the top of the canopy so that it paints a sign on the bottom of the rotor.
Nice. That
as
works.
we fly.
That is classy. That is classy.
Not that a giant ghost, in the sky will accidentally be misconstrued as a giant ghost in the sky.
Not at all. But
then people will call us anyway. Yeah. So.
But as you're piloting, I need you to make a 1-die stress roll as you head your way there.
1-die stress roll.
Yes.
You want to roll high.
All right.
Well,
And that is a 1. That is the opposite of high.
This is
excellent.
not good.
So on this stress roll, you made a 1, which is...
We may have overcharged that laser.
As you are... something terrible happens on the way over that causes you a complete and total nuclear meltdown. You're going to lose 1 skill die, because you only rolled 1 stress die. But you encounter something on the way that causes you to have to swerve, and possibly the helicopter goes out of control. And so I need you to what do you have an idea of what that might be that you're going to run into? Because if not, then it's going to be a flock of something.
I'm thinking we're going to run into angry air traffic control. And I'm going to lose a contact die.
Okay.
Because there are people out there who are just angry at me now.
All right.
That I can't talk to right now.
So right now there's this, you've already been dealing with, you're almost there. And you've been dealing with this person over the radio, and it's like, sir, we need you to land now. We need you to land now. You are not in invalid airspace. This is... You are flying over the exceptional airspace of these theme parks, and we can't have that. They clearly have you in the wrong spot. And I think he's frozen in rage.
I'm being named Osborne. I have no control over my destination at this time.
So what does this look like when you have your complete and total nuclear meltdown?
We're not flying back out. We're going to have this thing hauled out.
All right. So I'm going to just briefly, in Roll20, I'm going to bring up that map that I just dropped in there so that folks can see it. Real quick.
And I'm sure we're in exactly the wrong spot in the park.
And and I don't have to have a stress die for the
Oh no, not well. Actually, yeah, you're in a moment. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
So,
kind of like,
is there a particular area of the park where you would like to try and land?
pick the opposite of where we wanted to go, because that way we're gonna turn it around on him.
Let me look at the park real quick there.
We buzzed the Sky Tower for sure.
So we wanted to be at the Manatee. I'm guessing we started to head that way. I'm betting instead of landing in any of the empty space where we ought to be,
yeah,
we've probably ended up right in that big area in front of the Wild Arctic, where everybody queues for Shamu Stadium.
Ah, yes. Okay.
So all day tomorrow, before we can get this thing hauled out of here, everybody's going to be walking by going, "What's this helicopter? Hey, what's this helicopter doing here?" Hey, or they have to put a blanket over it or something. Or
that is excellent. That is delightful.
We'll just cause them the most trouble we can there.
Okay, well
we probably crushed one of the big, like statues of Shamu.
Yeah, that's like so. There's yeah. So you hit one of these these
rotors,
statues.
We decapitated it.
So you take the head off. You take the head off Shamu as you come down. Basically, the statue of Shamu. Channel Other Doc would like to specify that no animals were in fact harmed in the making of this game.
Absolutely.
And
they are actually made out of fiberglass. They're hollow.
Oh, there you are. Killer whales?
No.
How do you
Giant
know that?
Animal statue. There used to be a giant animal statue factory by where I lived up in Wisconsin for a little while.
Oh, wow, that's great.
Nobody told me it was there, and we drove by it, and I was asleep, and all of a sudden, giant chickens and giant dogs and giant cows were on either side of the road, and I just freaked out.
These things happen.
So an interesting fact: a killer whale is a dolphin.
Yes.
And originally they were called whale killers, and people could not wrap their head around it, and so they flipped it around and made them killer whales. Absolutely, and so people think that they're whales, but they're actually dolphins.
Okay, that's cool. Cool facts we did not know before. Okay, so
are we broadcasting, by the way?
Oh yes, we're totally on right now.
Okay.
So you
What,
no,
didn't this
everyone
seem
heard
broadcast level material?
No, I looked down at the little preview, and it did not look like we were broadcasting.
No, we got it. We're good.
Sorry.
But no, we're good. We're good. Everything's good. So yes. So as you are landing in that area, just sort of finally managing to set down, your tail just sort of spinning all over the place as they're trying to close the park. So thankfully there aren't a lot of tourists around right now. You come crashing down, and that seems terribly stressful. So John, I'm going to need you to make a crashing helicopter. 2 stress die roll for me, please.
Okay, so, and we determined high is good, yes?
High is good, yes.
Mm-hmm. 1 is not.
1 is not.
Just FYI.
So now it's your turn to have a nuclear meltdown. You will lose 1 die from an ability of your choice. Normally, in the rules, I think that I'm supposed to specify which ability it is, but I'm letting you pick.
So this was a I guess it would be. Well, obviously, it can't be athletics, because if it would be a 0 then. So I'm gonna have to go.
It could be a 0. You just fail everything.
I would think that it would be technology. Suddenly, I am totally paralyzed from the helicopter. You
don't want to touch another thing with a motor again for a while.
Right. We clipped guide wires. We clipped, and then we chopped the head off of Shamu as we finally slammed to the ground. And I probably had, when we landed, we had a big Shamu light right there in our front, in front of the windshield as we stopped.
As you get out, you see the head of the killer whale just sort of looking up at you accusingly.
That's it. So my current technology is 1. So.
Yep. No, not good. Okay.
Nope,
so you're having also a total meltdown. What does this look like as you're shipping out?
He is going over all the codes, all the health and governmental codes that we violated by crashing in here. We've entered space that was supposed to be occupied by people. He's just listing off of the code violations that we just violated, and making a tally. That's a possible fine of. That's what he's doing. He's doing a Rain Man kind of thing where he's totaling up the tens of thousands of dollars worth of fines that we could possibly have been assessed against, and he's probably dry heaving at this point because
nice.
now he has a phobia of flights. He's going to want to walk home.
All right, so at this point, Eric will come running up to you, and will be like, "You're supposed to land outside the park. What happened? Are you guys okay?"
Oh, I'm fine. And I'm going to look over at you dry heaving on the passenger seat. I just want to see you end up stepping up to the Shamu statue that's got his head cut off, so it's a big empty hole. I want to see you puke into Shamu.
That's exactly
That's
what
what I want to see.
I'm holding up one finger as he's asking.
Now some poor guy's got to clean out Shamu before they can recapacitate him. Oh.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to put this on YouTube later. We'll see. But who cares? Let's keep going. So that happens. In many ways, this is, well, I'll say that later. So he's
Is
Eric
it all
runs
falling
and
into
gets you
place now, Jim?
It is. I now understand so much. Eric has gotten you a basically a towel because he's not sure what else to get you right now. And he said, do you need some water or do you need some
Yes.
You okay? Okay, yeah, he hands you some bottled water.
Do you have any shrimp and maybe a stuffed shark?
Do you think that would help?
I think so, yes.
Let me see. We've got shrimp in one of the museums up here, but hang on. And he runs off, and to presumably get that. And you guys kind of get your bearings. Night has fallen at this point. It's actually now at the point that because it's after 10, and so they're locking up the park. And just sort of there is a certain amount of staff that Eric has had to go and just sort of like calm down and deal
They're
with.
probably
this whole thing
evacuating the park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll never see you coming now. And so he brings you, he manages to grab a stuffed shark and bring it over and he says, we don't actually serve shrimp here, but we have some videos on it. But
that's okay. That's okay.
Okay.
This should be soothing enough, and I'm gonna, dab you on the forehead with the stuffed shark for a minute to look soothing.
Yes.
But I'm gonna make sure that we don't get it gross because it's really for Miss Holden.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah.
So
I've got the sweat going on, and then because it's the humid. It's Florida in the middle of the summer.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna look like I'm dabbing you. I'm not getting it sweaty.
All right, fellows. Well, I'm gonna be up here, basically doing a lot of paperwork now. Up here at the up here in the by the Wild Arctic here, and trying to calm everything down. So just let me know if you need anything. And we'll be here.
I'm trying to concentrate on getting the bowling pin cannon and our magic our supernatural trap out of the.
Oh, see, that was probably why you got so panicked. Because if we've got that Korean thing, the pin would have had to been in one of the patient bays.
Oh, right, yeah.
And would have had to been in the other
You have that
to do the weight balance.
patient pods. Yeah, so they're in there. They're stuck into the in the patient bays.
So
of
you
the
didn't
helicopter.
get to be in the helicopter. You were strapped to the side of the helicopter.
That would explain a great deal.
Yeah.
He also will hand one of you a walkie-talkie. And just say, you can reach me on the other end of this if you need us. You can also hit security on this on channel 2 if you need it.
All right. Thank you, sir. And I will take the walkie-talkie.
All right.
I presume Ozzy is looking at in some terror.
Entirely possible.
He's just staring at it for a minute, and then he just hands it to you.
All right. So what are you folks doing?
We'll get our stuff together and start toddling all the way across the park.
Okay.
and we'll have to detour around the big lake in the middle.
This is true. Would have been so much easier to just land there, but no. So you come around.
Yes, it would have.
So you're coming around to take a look around, and
I'm breathing hard.
okay. So you come around.
I'll try and get you calmed down.
Past
No,
It's all right.
it's the exertion.
You go over the bridge past the Bayside Stadium and over past the Seaport Theater. You can see this a roller coaster just sort of arcing up over you.
We should
And,
stop by and check on the dolphins on the way. Since they're on the way now.
They are. They're in the you want to check into the dolphin nursery?
Yeah.
Okay.
See if they're really upset like he was talking about, if we can hear anything from the manatee compound. This would be a good place to start from, I think.
Okay.
Instead of just jumping straight into the manatee compound.
All right.
Like,
So you're gonna kind of are you going to the dolphin nursery or the dolphin cove?
let me look back at that map again.
That's what I was.
I would think whatever's behind the Dolphin Theater there.
Okay.
I'm thinking the dolphin nursery
Cove. Yeah, the cove.
has like a little bassinet with a little dolphin in it.
Yeah,
Underwater.
it probably does. Probably has a picture of that. By the way, as you can probably tell, I have never been to the actual SeaWorld. This is a fictional version for the purpose of this game. Let's see. And so this is, again, it is Dolphin. What is it? Just make sure that's not urgent. It's not. Okay, good. Let's see. Yes, this is. You're going to the Dolphin Cove. All right, or Dolphin Cove in SeaWorld Orlando. There we go. He says pulling up pictures. All right. So what you're looking at is, and it's, you know, the lights are still kind of, some of the lights are still on, but it's kind of low lit. You can see this big, it looks like a beach, basically, that they've constructed here. Where the dolphins can swim. The dolphins are probably inside right now. They're probably, yeah, they're probably still in the process of sort of wrangling them into the underwater area. And so they're probably at the edge. You've got some trainers probably at the edge. And you want to just sort of check around and just sort of listen and see if you can hear anything. You sort of spy on the dolphins and see the dolphins on two legs and see if they what they're saying to each other.
See what
what's going
they're
on.
up to.
Okay, so then therefore, what I would like you to do, Rusty, is to make a contact roll so that we can see what you find out.
Because this can't go bad at all.
It can't.
Nah.
No way will this go bad.
Having been a dude in a costume before, can I get the extra die for that?
Your previous job, yes. Well, you can get an extra die for that.
All right.
4.
It's a 4.
Nice.
Okay, so that is meep. So that is, you'd think I'd know these already. A fair description. You can now, you don't get any franchise dice for it, but you do find something out. Describe the mostly positive result of your action, but you must also include a negative or humorous effect. So what do you find out? What happens?
I find out that these guys don't really know what's going on. But Anita is no longer a dolphin at all. She has moved entirely over to Manatee Land. Yep. I bet she knows what's going on.
Yep, she is now with Clan Manatee for life. Yeah. You do get the feeling there's kind of a gang thing almost to it.
Yeah.
These parts, yeah. And there is a lot of talk around her, so that evidently Anita is there's something going on with her probably.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, and so that's what you hear. And what are you doing?
Looks like Anita's been unnaturally drawn into the manatee fold. Ozzy.
He will. He's like. He's trying to find, like, where the. I guess there's got to be an office here.
Mm-hmm.
With for the personnel, and where the managers are for the dolphin areas.
Mm-hmm.
And so he wants to go and take a look at the offices and sort of try to look at the records, specifically for Anita and any of the people that might have left the dolphins for the manatees.
Yeah, because you just don't become a manatee overnight. It's unusual that she would have just chosen that immediately.
Right.
It's just total 180. Do you want to ask around or ask someone to let you in, or do you want to like sneak in and look around quietly?
I'm gonna walk around like I know what I'm doing, and then when I find the office, I would at first I would try just to I would just try to enter, and if it's locked, then I would probably try to find a way in.
Okay.
So whether it's
so that sounds
whether it's violent or I don't know.
Well, this sounds more like a sneaking around type thing, so I'm going to go with athletics for this one.
Oh, fun. Okay. So, here we go. My 1 dice.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, you've got those 3 things on the card. Remember? Oh well, you didn't need them. You got a 5. And so that means you get a good result. You find out, as a result of doing this, you gain a franchise die, which means that you've advanced your mission.
Nice.
And so describe the good result. What is it that happens? What happens when you try to when you it is locked, but then you overcome that, and what happens?
I get in and I get at the. Oddly enough, they still use paper records, and I look at the personnel files for the people, for the dolphins, and then I look at Anita's, and see that she was probably written up for not being at her post over the last several weeks, before she sort of left, and they were going to terminate her, and then somebody in the manatee section decided to quote give her another chance. So we get the name of the manager of the manatee section that decided to give her this second chance.
Okay.
And I don't know if I should name this person or you want to name this person.
You're certainly welcome to name the person. If you've got a name, if you want me to name them, I will.
I'm thinking Henry Williams.
Williams.
And he is a handsome-looking manatee.
All right.
That's what we can say, is he? And
so he's the head manatee.
He is the head manatee apparently, and he has that in the picture, he has the goatee, the telltale goatee of the bad seed,
Yes.
And so
Henry the goateed manatee, excellent.
You just can't trust a guy with a partial beard.
Yeah,
I know, you just can't. I mean, especially the guys with goatees. You just, or Van Dykes, those are the worst. Yeah, you can't trust those guys at all.
Absolutely.
You never know what they'll do.
So,
Anyway.
and he came here from Euro Seaworld to specifically to study manatees.
I'm so delighted right now.
And maybe
Where is Euro SeaWorld located? Which country is that located in?
oh
Is it in France?
yeah, it's got to be in France.
So his name is Henri Williams.
Andre. Yeah, that's it. I name it
Henry with an I.
Yep, that's it.
Henri.
I call him Henry, and
Probably everyone else calls him Henry, but it's Henri.
and he corrects you. Yeah,
Yes.
that's it. So and yeah, he's from France, and there are indications that his they called to check up on his resume, when he applied, and his background check has stuff happened to people on his a lot of the people who were his references are no longer alive.
Okay. Mysterious, very mysterious.
Right. It's pretty odd,
Okay. So you find this out. Do you then go back to Rusty and tell him about this?
Yeah, I'm assuming. Yeah,
So you share all the info.
that we're gonna circle around. I didn't know. Maybe he's with me. I don't know.
Could be. Totally could be.
But
I figure I was probably watching the door.
Okay. So you guys have both found this out now. So what are you doing?
So it looks like we're going to have to go find out more over at Manatee Land, because it's all pointing to there.
Right.
It's all about the manatees.
So we knew it was going to have to be the sea cows.
Yeah.
So, do we walk?
Well,
I've seen those.
we should ride horses so we could be sea cowboys, but
If only.
but we only have this giant bowling pin, so we'll have to walk. Yeah.
I'm looking to see. There are little golf carts. I'm looking for one of the where the golf carts are.
Oh yeah.
This is Florida. There are lots
Let's
of
take over a
You
golf
find
cart.
one. It's gonna be. You can't throw a brick without hitting a golf cart in places like this. So yes, you find one immediately. It has, from where you are, it actually has a dolphin on top of it. Not a real dolphin, obviously. It's a ceramic dolphin.
He's trying to escape.
This is not how they do
I'm
business.
going to resist the urge to cut its head off to fit the theme.
Oh no! Do not decapitate the icon of the dolphin.
And so we're at the Dolphin Cove, right? So, we're gonna travel towards the manatee place. Maybe, obviously we want to wait till it's like fully dark and the park is empty.
Okay.
So as much as
maybe a quarter to midnight.
Yeah.
Right. So we'll go to the Turtle Trek place so that we can maybe get a view of the manatee rehabilitation area.
Okay. So you're
Or do we want to go to this Journey to Atlantis place? I'm assuming that is a hotel.
That is a water ride.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Oh,
You know what we could do? We could take the water ride part way and stop it at the top and observe the manatee space.
yeah. I think that's our next move.
Okay, you can totally.
Let's do
arrange this.
that.
Okay.
Nothing can go bad.
Absolutely
Nothing
nothing.
at all.
Speaking of which, so you fellas head over as so that you time it so that you'll get there a bit, before a quarter to midnight, since you need to get up there. You need to get situated. Rusty, you're going to go in and presumably, since you had the idea, to get that to happen. So I'm going to need you to make a technology roll for me.
Oh no, technology.
Let's hope this goes well.
And remember, by the way, you folks, you still have confessionals if you decide you want to use them at some point. So you can still twist the plot around if you want.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Okay, that's a 5.
5.
So you do it. You're successful, so it's a good result. Once again, you're going to gain another franchise token for it. Tell me what happens when you make this arrangement and you get up there.
We get in the, what is it, a flume sort of thing, or
yeah, kind of. It's let me
okay.
see. I had a picture over here that I was looking at.
I assume it's an elevator.
It's well, yeah, it's kind of a it's a flume type thing. Yeah, it's sort of a log flume type thing. You go inside this building. Basically, it leads you through the different the journey to Atlantis. So a bunch of things that look like they are probably a mix of Roman and Egyptian sort of ideas.
Okay, so we get all the
lot of
necessary
pillars
works
inside.
Cranked up, but none of the showy bits. None of the lights are coming on. None of the sound. Just the water and some of the mechanisms to get everything going. So we're the least likely to be noticed, and we'll take our little flume guy up there, get to where we want to be, and cast off with some anchors.
All right.
So it's not that, because I don't think we can actually stop this ride, but we can hold our car in place.
Absolutely. So you get up there, you get up to the top of the place, you hold it, so you've got a very good view of them, and as you're looking at them from there, what is it?
And I'm going to point to the 2 nylon ropes real quick for my good friend Ozzy and say, these 2 nylon ropes are what's holding us in place. Don't mess with these, or we'll go screaming down this chasm.
Excellent. You're in an awesome position. So you're up there, and it's pretty dark, and then you start to see, sort of as you're looking down, you're watching what's happening in there, and you can see these. You can see that slowly these figures dressed as manatees all assemble around the pool area, and they all raise their hands up, and they're doing some sort of strange thing with their hands, and you see a light appearing at the center of the pool.
What are they doing?
So you're trying to look carefully and see sort of what they're doing.
Oh, no, I'm just asking Ozzy. I have no clue.
Oh, okay, yes.
Hey, Ozzy, what are they doing?
It's some sort of ceremony. Stating the exact obvious.
Okay, so
exactly what you're seeing.
So, Ozzy, you're trying to figure this out. I'd like you to make an academics roll for me.
Oh, nice. Okay. Okay, come on, roll high. 4.
Okay, so that means that you get a fair result, you get a mostly positive result, but you must include a negative or humorous effect. So what is it you're figuring out? What happens here?
Okay, so we know that that this is some sort of ritual, and that there is a manatee. There's some sort of manatee. They must be summoning a manatee god. Or something, some manatee-related dark magic, it's the glow is getting brighter, and we're filled with some sort of dread, and the consequences. While we're watching that, one of the nylon ropes snaps.
Oh dear!
And sends us sideways, and we're sort of stuck at this point where if it breaks, but the problem is that there's not much we can do at this point, because there's no way to get out. We're beyond the we're beyond the little gate that allowed us to get on to this point.
Yeah.
So we've got to decide how we're going to get down at this point.
Yep. You're basically up in this big house. And you got flume.
And I think that somebody down there spotted us.
Okay.
I let out a blood-curdling scream when the rope snapped.
Yes.
I was like, it sounded like an 8-year-old girl.
I was gonna say Manatee cultists are trying to spot the little girl up on the ride.
So you see them sort of looking commotion, and they're looking and they're pointing. They're trying to look.
Right. And we're sort of our little log flume thing is starting to shimmy, and the other rope is beginning to fray. So
okay, I think our best shot here is to control what's going on now and not wait for something to go horribly worse. So Ozzy, I need you to lay down on this side of the flume so it's weighted. Because if it's not weighted and we let this rope go, bells, not in.
Okay.
You told me to lay down at the helicopter.
And we survived that, didn't we?
Shamu didn't.
I don't care about Shamu. If I come from here, I'm going to count it as a win. Lay down.
Okay, I don't know. Do I need a stress roll here? Because I complete meltdown as the last time.
That's true. You're kind of a little stressed right now. So yeah, go ahead and do a 1-die stress roll for me, please.
Okay.
And I'm going to go ahead and try and keep everything leveled and
no
unhooked
effects.
and controlled.
Yes. So yeah, you got you're fine. It's blasé. It doesn't matter. You don't care. No, it's fine.
Okay. And
you don't have to see it from down there.
Okay.
That's what I was thinking. It's like he just closes his eyes and lays down.
Okay.
Like,
so
okay.
Rusty is trying to logistically get this flume into a place where it's going to be okay.
Right.
And so I think on this one, I made you do technology to get it going, but I think at this point it's going to be pretty much pure athletics, to keep it stable.
Alrighty.
So he is trying to.
It's a 4.
Once again, a fair result. So you describe the mostly positive result of your action, but must also include a negative or humorous effect. So what happens?
All right. So we go down. It's a controlled, screamingly fast descent, and we were gonna try and stop somewhere just at the bottom so we could get off the ride and head that way. I'm thinking what's gonna happen is when I throw out the rope to catch onto something, it's just gonna tear the back of this car clean off. And we're just going to get stuck sideways at the bottom.
Okay. So you come down.
So, and how the water's going to be hitting the side of the car, shooting up and over. We're going to have the anti-waterfall, and we're going to have to hustle out with our gear before the water pushes this thing on through.
Excellent.
Right.
Well, so you get down, you splash down and splash through. That sounds terribly stressful. So, Rusty, you're the one who can see all of this happening. So I need you to make a 1-die stress roll for me.
I'm going. Are we okay? Are we okay?
I'm going to say we're totally fine. Just as the back of the car comes off, and you get totally soaked.
There's a rending of metal and fiberglass and.
It's great.
Oh, that's not good. So we had another nuclear meltdown. As this happens, you're going to lose another die from a skill of your choice. Complete and total nuclear meltdown. So what does that look like when you get down there? How do you react?
It's great. It's just great, and I'm trying to get everything out of this, doomed flume and or flume car, and I'm gonna enwrench my ankle while I'm doing this because I'm trying to get everything out, and I might accidentally step on my good friend and slide off him and wrench my ankle in the wet and unstable ground.
Yep. All right. So that's happening, and you can distantly. They're not here yet, but you know that there are manatees coming. You can see them, and there's still that glow going on at the manatee area.
We see it. We see that it's lit up over there, right? Mm-hmm. And we're trying to, and it's all dark over here. Okay.
Yep. Yeah. So what you doing?
And it was
come on. We need
a
to
12-year-old boy that was screaming when he.
We need to hobble around the way we don't think they're coming.
Okay.
We don't want to run into them halfway there.
I do a I sort of slap him to calm him down. Do the come on, get hold of yourself. We got to move. And
okay. So
what do I need to do to? I'm sort of trying to manhandle the big big thing.
Yeah.
I'd have gotten the big thing.
Oh, okay.
I didn't get you. I didn't save you.
So
I saved the equipment.
Yeah. So yeah, you have the John. Right now you have the cursed map, and so yeah, that's the thing that you specifically are holding on to, and Joel has the spirit capture pin and the Jello launcher.
Okay.
But I see, Ozzy, you said you were trying to you're trying to get out of sight. Is that what's happening, or what's going on?
Uh-oh. Joel. Join us, Joel.
No, he's still there.
Oh, you said Ozzy. I'm sorry. My bad.
Ozzy.
My
bad.
I was just incredibly still.
Yeah.
I'm struggling to get out of what's left, and sort of wedge myself over the edge of the flume itself so that I can drop to the ground.
Okay.
And in whatever direction that he's headed, and at this point, I'm gonna like duck down, and I am gonna get out my map and see if it points towards the.
Okay. Now I would like you then to make an academics check for me.
Okay.
6.
Ooh, 6.
Okay, so something. Keeping in mind that this is a totally not at all cursed map. Except it's probably a cursed map.
No.
You do get a 6. You get an amazing result out of this. So something really, really helpful to you. You get 2 franchise tokens out of this. So what amazing thing happens as a result of your looking at this map?
Well, the amazing thing is probably that it worked, but that. So it told us pretty much what we knew, which was that the source of real magic, that whatever the paranormal thing is there in the middle of the manatee tank, and that there's probably some sort of lesser source in the general area, probably maybe where the offices are in the manatee area.
Okay.
And there's probably a little an image almost of what and I named him. It was Henri. What Henri looks like, his picture.
Yes, you've got it.
It's a little inky caricature of what Henri looks like in the margin.
Okay.
Of the map, then like it's showing that perfectly.
Okay.
And then suddenly it shifts, and we have dolphin people. It's showing me dolphin people, like the dolphin area.
Yeah.
It's totally thrown us off.
Trying to go in different directions, but you think you got what you needed out of it, though.
Right.
Okay. So what are you doing? What are you folks doing?
I will show. It's not Joel. Sorry.
Well, he is.
Your character. No, it's your character, Rusty. I will show Rusty. Just as it. I would show him the map just as it turns. He gets one brief glance of like of where it is over there, what we already knew, and then suddenly it's so, and he blinks, and it's actually looks like it's the dolphin area that it's showing. It's not really like, no, I swear it was showing the office at the Manatee area, but
you don't have to tell me what you think you saw. Just tell me which way we need to go.
We need to go around and try to avoid them. They're headed this way.
And you hear footfalls coming.
And Henri looks French. Or Henry looks French. That's that nose.
Okay.
So we go around, and we go in the direction that they're away from the direction they're coming, I guess.
Okay.
That's the plan. Yes.
Okay.
Hopefully.
So they're taking the direct route. So do you want to go around the other side of the back side of the rehabilitation area, sort of by the beach?
Right.
Basically?
That's what I was about to say. We're going to go around the journey to Atlantis and come up at the Manatee area from the beach.
All right. So you're heading around, and you're trying to lose them. So I think that there's going to be an athletics roll in order. Let's start with Rusty.
Okay. Let's see. Because we're both down to ones now.
Excellent. Remember, you still got those cards. You can.
We got 3 gem cards that might be worth expending one here.
All right, I'll go ahead and use up a gem card.
Okay.
Gem token.
So you get an extra die, right? That's the way it works.
Mm-hmm.
That gets me a 4.
All right, so that's a fair result. So as you folks are heading around, you can describe the mostly positive result of your action, but must also include a negative or humorous effect. So what's happening?
All right, we start skirting around toward the beach, and there we get away from them. They don't see us. Nobody screams like a little girl or a 14-year-old boy, but we get to the beach. We get to the beach with a giant bowling pin on 2 wheels.
Ah.
This isn't gonna work so hot from here.
Through the sand, yes.
Through the sand. So we make it to the beach, but we're stuck there now.
Yeah, it's going to be slow going to take that to bring that with you. You can, but it'll be basically dragging it across the sand.
Actually, we might be quicker to just flip it on the other side, drag the pin shape through the sand, like a rounded sledge.
Sounds reasonable.
Okay.
So we'll leave a giant track.
Yeah, big divot down
Excellent.
the middle of the
What huge thing slithered through here?
Who knows? Strange mysterious thing. So you head down the beach, having successfully distracted the manatees, and as you do so, you can, as you're getting closer, you're coming around the other side, and you're getting behind the rehabilitation area, behind those those buildings, and you're coming around. Let me actually... Manatee rehabilitation area.
Man, we're going to have to refinish this bowling ball case. This bowling pin case.
The glow is still going on?
The glow is still going on. The glow is still going on. It actually is, if anything, it's a little brighter now. And you're coming around this sort of looks like a kind of a roundish building, we'll say. And sort of fake rocks and such on this side. And as you come around, you see there's an area with railing. And you can just, as you peek out and you can see some people still sort of over there, you kind of hear them chanting a little bit. And as they're still, the ones that are still there holding their hands out, you don't see, there are not nearly as many as there were before though, because the rest of them are sort of hunting after you. So what are you doing?
So where's the source of the glow? Can we see that yet, or is it?
What you see right now is it seems to be coming from like the middle of the of that pool that they're gathered around.
Is it just a glow, or does it look more like they're opening a portal, or?
So, Rusty, as you're sort of looking and sort of gazing into it, to try to sort of see from here, make an academics roll.
I mean, okay. Let's...
I think it's very vitally important that there is a kind of a statue of a manatee out front.
There are statues of manatees there, yes.
And we must decapitate one of them by the time.
Resist the urge, my God.
All right, so I got a 6.
An amazing result. So you see something amazing that gives you more information that helps advance the case and get 2 franchise tokens. What do you see?
I see... Oh, they can't help themselves. They're park employees. They have put up an information sign up here on this walkway that explains what they're doing.
Okay. So what is
Witness the summoning of the great manatee god. Step 1, step 2.
Does the great manatee god have like a long unpronounceable name?
Well, no, I won't make the super cheap joke there. Let's see. Yeah, we'll go with a long unpronounceable name.
Okay.
It's more of it's not one of those lots of syllables fire dolphin names. It's one of those one long, low, moany sort of yeah. Like a really tired whale song.
Oh, good Lord. Excellent.
So, and it's actually a great old one but you know.
Well, you know, it always is. You know, that's how this works. Excellent.
And I'm gonna point at it and go, "Hey, great manatee god named." Oh. You know about this guy?
Sure.
Okay, make an academics roll for me, John. Let's see what happens.
That's bad. Okay, this is my forte. A 5. Yay!
A 5. Excellent. So you get something good. Yeah. So what good thing do you searching your mind do you realize about this?
That I absolutely recognize that name from, you know, some sort of there was probably a spring, you know, one of those deep water springs that Florida has in places.
Mm-hmm.
And there was the name of that at one point. It was this name, and so that was, you know, his sacred spot, and this must have been where his sacred spot was all those years ago, and they just happened to be on top of the place to summon. Seaworld happened to be on top of where the great old manatee god can manifest into our world.
Excellent.
You know, there's there's no way that's a coincidence. There's some larger organization behind this that we'll have to investigate in the next session.
It's entirely possible.
That's been, arranging people to be able to summon gods very easily.
Well, at this point, you are 4 away from your goal here. So you've discovered all this. You can see that the light is starting to grow brighter and is starting to take some kind of shape, possibly, or it's more concentrated. So what are you folks doing?
We need to shut this down.
Ooh, is it actually shaping the water into the great manatee god?
It totally is. That seems to be what's happening.
Great.
All right. It's going to be the great manatee god of Jello. We're going to fill the incipient shape.
Ah, excellent. Okay, so you're going to come around and use your Jello launcher to get that going. So go ahead then, Rusty, and make a technology roll for me.
So we're going to try to capture a god with Jello.
Why not?
No, we're just
6.
going to make it a weak Jello god.
6. Bill Cosby wouldn't approve of this.
Well, that's at this point, then that can only be to the good.
But that does mean that there's always room for this god in our world.
Excellent. So you launch these Jello packets in. You get an amazing result on a 6. And so, what amazing thing happens as you launch the Jello packets?
He starts to form, but he also
you're breaking up.
starts to firm. He's gonna show up, but he's not gonna be able to do anything. They're making a rubbery statue instead of a living god on Earth.
So at this point, you fire the packets in, drawing the notice of the cultists, because let's just call them what they are. They're cultists.
Hi guys!
And they filling the creature, and it comes forth. It's like splashes down into the water, and you see a bunch of really pissed off manatees now running around the railing toward you. In the lead, a large, handsome fellow who you recognize as Henri, pointing toward you, and "How dare you defile how dare you defile the coming of the great god Glagongrathrol!"
But you realize if he's a manatee god, he's a mammal. Don't let him drown. Because now he's face down in the water.
Excellent. So that's a good argument. Make a contact roll for me, please, Rusty.
We're gonna try the bank. I'm gonna use a bank doodad.
Excellent. Okay, so you're using how many bank dice?
We'll use 2. We'll live on the edge.
Okay.
I think it's time.
So the first 2 dice that we see on this roll in roll 20 will be the bank dice. Go ahead.
Okay. So the first 2 dice were 5 and 2.
Okay, so
I got a 5.
Okay, so while we're calculating that, your result was a 5, which is good. So you're going to gain a franchise die out of it. So you get interest. So that die returns to the bank. But you also got a 2, which is a service charge. So you lose that die and an additional bank die. So that means you're just it resets to 0s. Yeah. Dice. So basically, well, no, you gained a die and lost a die, so you still have a net of 1 back in the bank. So you're exactly back where you were. So you're good. Now, what good thing happens as a result?
At least half of these guys have to go back to save their living god from drowning.
Or a living Jello god. Don't forget.
Yeah, that is true.
They're gonna have to spend their time pulling him out of the pool.
All right, so they're distracted
They can't be fighting us.
They're distracted while this is happening. And Ozzy, while this is all going on, what are you doing?
Where is Henri? Is he
Henri
going back
is in the lead? Well, let's see. Henri. Well, let's see. Do you, Rusty, as part of your description, did you want Henri to be helping them, or do you want Henri to continue pursuing you?
Henri strikes me as the guy who's not going to be useful, but will be more angry. He's going to continue to pursue us.
All right. So he's in the lead of this group of of costumed manatees that are heading your way.
I'm gonna use the bowling pin on him. I'm just gonna hit him with the bowling pin.
Ah, excellent.
I'm not gonna activate it. Maybe it activates itself by when I hit him. If I
So it's a
back.
spirit capture. The spirit capture pin.
Yeah.
Excellent. So go ahead and you're using it. You're using it as a club, but I'm going to let you use technology on this roll if you prefer, because of what you're using.
Sure. I'm gonna take a credit card die then.
Go right ahead.
So that would give me 2, as opposed to 1.
All right. Let's see what happens.
And I'm trying to cold cock him. A 3, which is not great.
So not great. So GM can decide your fate, but you may be given a chance to suggest a single positive, albeit minor, effect. So this is a mostly negative effect, and something that a lot of inspectors GMs do is they actually let you describe your own. You've been doing a great job so far of making things worse, so I just want to see what you have to say happens here. This is a mostly bad result with one minor positive effect. What happens?
I went to swing at him, and I totally my our one supernatural taking out weapon is now has rolled across has rolled into the bushes across the way, and I'm probably on the ground in front of Henri. He's about to I'm assuming try to kick me in a manatee costume.
Yeah.
That's at this point he's not worried that he can't really wind up and kick me that hard, but he's still going to be able to kick me.
Well,
I
sounds
hadn't
really
really considered that, but guys in manatee outfits aren't that threatening.
That was the thing. It looks more amusing than it is threatening.
Still, this is a kind of a tense situation. So, Ozzy, could you please make as you've got an elder god or a great old one, whichever we want to classify it as, that's they're trying to get out of the pool while this their leader is trying to kick your butt. So, make a 2-die stress roll for me, please.
I also see that they're trying to grab him, and it's Jello, so it's
very hard to get hold of. Yeah,
it's not grippable, and they're like breaking off pieces of their god.
No. Go ahead then and make a stress roll for me. A 2-die stress roll.
World domination slipping through their fingers.
Yeah. High is good.
Yes. 2 dice.
Me or him?
You, sir.
You're
I'm
Ozzy.
sorry.
I'm not Ozzy.
Sorry.
One of you two that's Ozzy. Okay, so you got a 4. So that means
annoyed.
Yeah, you're annoyed. Yeah, so that it's you're gonna get a 1-die penalty to your next skill roll. But you're nothing permanent. So it's like this is happening.
So he kicks me harder than somebody in a manatee costume ought to have kicked me. He caught me in the jaw, and I'm sort of rolling over in pain at this point.
Who would wear steel-toed shoes in a manatee outfit?
It makes no sense. Thematically, it makes no sense. I will
trying to see where the pen is, where it went.
Okay. Well, before we go to that, I do want to just make one more reminder. You do still have your confessionals available if you want them. So do you either? We're very near the end. Do you want to use one or no? Either of you.
I'm going to go ahead and use one.
All right, so we now go to confession. This is from the perspective of after this case has happened and they're interviewing you. So let's go ahead and get your confessional going. All right, you're on camera.
And that was when I realized I'd been here before. I hadn't been here as a park goer. I was helping a guy do one of those safety inspections, one of the electrical safety inspections. And this thing has loose cables everywhere. And I thought, I know where they are. They're easy to pull out. This should be a snap.
Excellent. All right.
So they cut back to me going, I'm going to tear this cable out and just throw it into the pool and fry them all.
All right, so you're right by it. So let's see. This is actually, I think we could go with athletics for this, just simply because it's not that tough. But
can I go with technology?
I will let you use technology on this though, since you used a confessional.
Well, thank you. So that's a 6.
Okay. So this takes you to above your 12 token goal.
Yes.
So this solves the entire case. It is an amazing result. What amazing thing happens when you pull out those cables and toss them in the pool?
Pull out the cable, toss it to the pool, and it manages to just land right on the Jello god. And he sucks up all the juice. Nobody in the pool is really seriously harmed. All the current goes through him, bakes him away, and you can hear this painful screaming that just bubbles out of the water everywhere. It's low and slow and sedate, but you can tell it's painful.
So
as everything just cooks off into vapor.
And the manatee, the people in manatee costumes are terribly despairing as this happens. They watch in slow motion as this goes over, and they look as the cables land into the land on top of their deity. They're trying very hard to pull away.
And I want to do a confessional. And this is when.
All right, let me get you on the screen.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
And this is when the skimmer robots came out to clean the pool.
Excellent.
And I don't know how you suck up that much Jello in that little time, but there was the smell of strawberries for like an hour as the little robots sucked every little piece of that dark god down into its innards. And then Henri stood up. And then
Yeah, so at this point
we've got to do something with Henri, that's all.
Henri stands up, he looks around. He is in despair as the robots come out and clean away the remains of his dark god. He goes down on his knees. No! You have ruined everything! You bastards! No! And he starts climbing up and trying to dive into the water.
Lost. Ho, ho, ho.
No! You've destroyed Lagangrathol! And he climbs up over and I must join him! And he climbs up in despair over the railing, trying to jump in. If you guys want to let him do that, that's fine. Or if not, you can stop him.
I'm gonna cold cock him. I've reached out and grabbed the bowling pin, and this time I'm going to cold cock him, and I'm going to use 2 of the 2 remaining gem dice.
Awesome.
You just hate Henri, don't you?
You've hit your goal, so you just do it. You basically you reach up and you cold cop him. You find the bowling pin. You pick it up and you knock him out. And Henri is unconscious.
Yeah, he's climbing up on the rail, and I just bap.
He falls down, and everyone else scatters.
Right. Except for Anita, who comes over and is trying to wake him up.
Yeah. So she's still there, and she seems to be coming kind of as this is all going on. She just sort of looks at. She tries to wake him up, and she can't. And she stands up and she looks around as though she's awaking from a trance. As do actually some of the other cultists who are starting to run away. They're kind of back, and they're just removing their manatee hoods, and they're like, "What's happening? Why?" And she's looking down. Why am I dressed as a manatee?
Oh, it's been you've had a rough week or two. You became a manatee cultist, and you dumped your boyfriend.
Oh.
And if you ask real nice, we might be able to get you your job back.
Wow. All right, so I think at that point we're going to cut away to our final confessionals. You have successfully taken care of this situation, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back. They're going to be like confessionals, basically, where they're interviewing you each about the aftermath, and so you get to sort of sculpt what it is that happens at the end of this thing and how everything ended up at the end of this story. Who wants to go first?
Feel free this time, Ozzy.
Okay.
All right, so we switch back to you.
So, the cleanup took days. I mean, the helicopter, having to make sure that we got all the pieces of the Dark God Jello, making sure that people didn't eat the Dark God Jello.
It's very important.
Who would have thought that this was a problem that, and it was strawberry and it smelled wonderful. I mean, I thought, there could have been money in this, but cooler heads prevailed. So now we have 900 gallons of strawberry Dark God Jello in one of the abandoned lanes back at the bowling alley, and gonna have to find a way to dispose it so that the EPA doesn't shut us down immediately. So all in all, solid. As long as they pay our invoices, solid mission all around.
Excellent. So. Excellent. And Rusty, your final confessional.
It may be inappropriate, but Miss Hudson and we're really enjoying that Dark God Jello. Miss Holden.
Yeah.
I worry about it now and again, but I think at least we've got that great medical plan.
Awesome. All right, fellas. Well, that gentleman is InSpectres. Thank you so much for playing. That was delightful for me. It's as a mission. I had always suspected this was possible with two people, and now we have proven that is true.
It is indeed.
I'm going to go in reverse order as we do our outros. John, how are you doing? How are you feeling? And how was the game?
It was excellent. Didn't have any experience with InSpectres coming in. Loved it. It was quite fun. Would like to do this again. Maybe pick up from where we're at and do something else along these lines. Hunt down the rest of these cultists that are trying to bring back dark gods in Orlando, in the happiest place on earth.
Absolutely.
Quite fun. Thank you.
Coolness. Well, thank you for playing, man, and that'll be kept in the your characters are kept in the database so that should we do another round of InSpectres at some point on this channel, it may be possible to come back. We shall see. And Joel, same question. How you doing, and how did you feel about the game?
I really enjoyed it. I had no real knowledge of this game before I showed up. I actually looked at the homework about 2 hours before the game. So I wasn't overly burdened with expectations, but they were all surpassed. I really kind of like the setup we have. I enjoyed the bowling alley, and Miss Holden's awesome.
That's very cool. I like this.
I'm just really kind of hoping that we can turn the next Dark God into donuts.
That would be good.
Yeah.
Well, have to come up a whole new technology for that. We need some new characters,
donut creation
technology.
No, we just need a little time in the shop.
Just a little bit to fix it right up.
Well, the other thing is that, we were fortunate that it was a god in water because we had Jello, but if it would have been in the middle of a baseball field, I mean, what what we're gonna do there with Jello. So
It's hard to know.
Uh,
Well,
if we were going to the middle of a baseball field, I might not have pulled out the Jello.
I might have gone for a different piece of equipment. If that's entirely possible.
Might have gone for the gopher summoning bells. Well, I don't know.
That would be cool. Well, folks, thank you so much for playing, and you folks out there who may be watching this at a later time,
Right.
thank you so much for watching. Again, you can find me here on Twitch and on Twitter at OtherDoc. That's OTHERDOC, just like it says right below me. My website is jim.com. Where I have my podcast where I talk about all manner of weird things and links to my various other audio projects, mostly audio, but other projects as well. And this is much fun. This brings an end to our Inspectors series for right now. Last couple of weeks, last couple of Sundays in August, we're going to be playing Fiasco. And so that we're going to grab some play sets and see what comes out of that. This session felt actually kind of very much like Fiasco in some ways. So it was delightful for me in that respect. So I enjoyed it quite a bit, and I loved the premise and the way that you folks kind of set this up out of your bowling alley, and it was delightful. And that will be about it. So, folks, thank you for watching. Take care. And we'll see you all of a sudden.
Be well.